In this video, I'll show you all 15 of those common open chords, also known as cowboy chords. We're going to do them alphabetically. There's 15 of them, and by no means do you have to memorize and learn all of these all at once. Think of this video more as a reference video that you can come back to. I'd also recommend you take page 5 of book 2, print it out, and stick that chord chart on your wall. These are the 15 most essential open chords you'll come across. We're going to do them alphabetically, starting with C major. Finger 3 on fret 3 of the A string. That's a C, if you remember. Finger 2 on fret 2 of the D string. That's an E, then play the open G string. Finger 1 on fret 1 of the B string. And the open E string, high E string. Play only the strings from A to the high E string. But it doesn't sound terrible if you play the low E. Try to avoid it though. Next up is C7. This is a so-called dominant 7th chord. By the way, all of these chords that you haven't learned yet, we're going to practice them in depth in future videos. C7. This is basically the C chord to play the C major chord. Then put your pinky on the 3rd fret of the G string. That's C7. Next up is D major, which we already know. Open D string, finger 1 on fret 2 of the G string, finger 3 on fret 3 of the B string, finger 2 on fret 2 of the high E string. Here's the D minor chord. That's finger 2 on fret 2 of the G string, finger 3 on fret 3 of the B string, finger 1 on fret 1 of the high E string, minor chords are more serious, some might say sad sounding, than the major chords. Next up is D7, open D string, finger 2 on fret 2 of the G string, finger 1 on fret 1 of the B string, finger 3 on fret 2 of the high E string. The notes are D, A, C, F sharp. Is the E major chord. Low E string. Finger 2 on fret 2 of the A string. Finger 3 on fret 2 of the D string. Finger 1 on fret 1 of the G string. And the 2 top open strings, B and E. And here's E minor. Low E string. Finger 1 on fret 2 of the A string. Finger 2 on fret 2 of the D string. And the top 3 strings as well, G, B, E. And another dominant 7th chord, E7 in the easy version. Low E string. Finger 2 on fret 2 of the A string. And the open D string. Finger 1 on fret 1 of the G string. And play the top 2 strings as well. Here's E7, the harder version. It's the E major chord. The pinky plays the 3rd fret of the B string. Next up is F major. Don't play the low E or A string. Finger 3 on fret 3 of the D string. finger 2 on fret 2 of the G string, finger 1 playing both the B and E string on fret 1. This might be a difficult one for beginners. This is a so-called bar chord, because finger 1 is sort of playing multiple strings at the same time. More on that later. Here's G major. There's also two versions of this one. My favorite version is finger 2 on fret 3 of the low E string, finger 1 on fret 2 of the A string, play the open D and G strings, and then finger 3 on fret 3 of the B string, finger 4 on fret 3 of the high E string. Play all 6 strings. One of my favorite chords. Now in version 2, might be easier or harder, depends on you. G major, version 2, just leave out finger 3 and play the open B string instead. Here's G7, another dominant 7th chord. Finger 3 on fret 3 of the low E string, finger 2 on fret 2 of the A string, play the open D, G and B strings, finger 1 on fret 1 of the high E string. Not one of my favorites. Next is the A major chord. Don't play the low E string. Play the low A string. Finger 1 on fret 2 of the D string. Finger 2 on fret 2 of the G string. Finger 3 on fret 2 of the B string. And the open E string. An alternative version to playing this A major chord is to play a bar chord over 3 strings, the D, G and B strings. This might be difficult. And try not to play the high E string, but it doesn't sound that bad. Next is the A minor chord. Open A string, finger 2 on fret 2 of the D string, finger 3 on fret 2 of the G string, finger 1 on fret 1 of the B string, and the open E string. Here's the A7 chord, another dominant 7th chord. Play the open A string, finger 2, fret 2 of the D string, the open G string, then finger 2 or 3 on fret 2 of the B string, and the open E string. You could also use finger 3 on fret 2 of the B string. Then it's just like the A major chord, but you're lifting finger 2. And here's the final chord for today, B7. Don't play the low E string. Play finger 2 on fret 2 of the A string, finger 1 on fret 1 of the D string, finger 3 on fret 2 of the G string, play the open B string, and finger 4 on fret 2 of the high E string.